Drip irrigation is a water-efficient way to make growing vegetables convenient, also growing any landscape plants convenient. In this video, we'll cover the basic steps to making a simple, efficient drip irrigation system. Welcome to John and Bob's and Chip's YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you find these videos helpful and if you like Chip. I'm John Valentino and I'm a landscape contractor, and we've worked for a long time, maybe about 41 years now, putting in gardens and designing gardens and selling plants and talking to people about all kinds of gardening problems. We meet people every day in all the jobs we go to that are big vegetable eaters and are trying to figure out ways of maximizing yields and watering their plants appropriately. A drip system is an important part of that, and that's what we're going to talk to you about today. Make it simple so you can put in your own drip system or direct somebody to put it in for you. So the number one factor in putting in an effective, efficient drip system is to use inline drip tubing. That means rather than have a bunch of tubing that comes off of this tubing, the emitters are actually inside of the tubing and you can hardly see them. And that way you don't have a lot of stuff that gophers can eat and you can get your rake caught on, or it makes it very simple. So this tubing every 12 inches has an emitter that emits about 1 gallon per hour. So right here where this finger is 1, and then right here where this finger is 1. So every 12 inches you can plant the plants right where the emitters are. And 1 gallon per hour, if you think about that you need 60 emitters to get to 1 gallon a minute. So it's using very little water and it's very efficient. It's only delivering the water where the plant is, and it's doing it on a drip basis, hence the terminology drip irrigation. Second recommended component is actually 3 components together, and they are sold all together for the most convenient installations. And that is some kind of a valve. In this case it's an automatic electric valve, so these wires go to your time clock, which would turn it on however you program it. Then there's a filter. Because those emitters put out such small amounts of water, they can plug easily, so you want to filter the water. So this is a filter. The filter comes apart and you would clean it about once a year just by washing the mesh part of the filter. And then there's a pressure regulator. Because these are not glued, the parts are not glued together or anything, the drip is just put together. So we want to cut down the pressure to about 20 pounds or so. And so this is a pressure regulator that cuts down the pressure so that your system stays together and doesn't keep blowing leaks and coming apart. And you don't need, it doesn't absolutely need to be an automatic valve. You could have a manual valve here also, but you need some kind of a valve, some kind of a filter, and some kind of a pressure regulator. And the best way is to buy them all together, and then they're installed very easily. This is a brand called Netafim. All the major manufacturers make excellent versions of this: Rainbird, Hunter, Toro. The third component that we recommend is some type of flush valve. This is a manual flush valve, and that means at the end of the lines or in a spot where you can get all the water to run, you want to put some kind of valve that once a year or so you would open, turn the water on, and that flushes debris out of the tubes. And this is a manual one. There are automatic ones that open on their own. The problem we've had with that is sometimes they don't close properly and end up with a leak. So we went to using only manual flush valves, and then you can control when you want to flush it. The fourth component is what I would call an isolation valve, and it's not absolutely essential, but if you have any size drip system at all, you might want to be able to turn off certain rows. Say you have tomatoes on one row and mint or something on another row, and you want to water them at different times, but they're all on the same valve or the same circuit. So you could, this is the same as the flush valve, you can use the same valve for an isolation valve, and it goes in the drip tubing, and so you can turn off certain rows and still water and then turn them back on. And so isolation valves might be a really important feature if you have a pretty good sized drip system. So what makes a drip system so easy and convenient to put in, even a do-it-yourselfer, is the fittings are very simple and they just press into the tubing. So that, as you can see, this is a 90-degree elbow. Same thing comes in a T, same thing comes in a coupling, and then you just press them into the tubing, and you have to press fairly hard to get it to stay, and that's all there is to it. So you get as many fittings as you need, T's, elbows, couplings, and a very simple process of putting them together. No glue is used, and that's why you need a pressure regulator, because if under high pressure they could come apart. But if you press them in properly and you keep the pressures where they should be, you won't have any problems. If you have a question for Chip or I about drip irrigation, ask in the comments below. So if you maximize watering in your vegetable garden, you want to maximize yields, then check out our products. That's how to make your soil as healthy as possible. That combination of drip irrigation and John and Bob's products will produce fantastic pest and disease-free yields. Go to our website at johnandbobs.com. If you like Chip and you like our videos, please like it and subscribe to us, and we appreciate your support.